Okay, let's jump into the draft here. So this pack, clear pick between Bugler and Siegebreaker Giant. I think on average, Bugler probably has a stronger effect. But I guess it's a question of where your preference is in these types of decks. Thing is, okay, I'm going to take a Siegebreaker Giant because I think Siegebreaker Giant goes into more types of decks. Whereas the Bugler kind of wants to be in the go white deck. I think that's the reason for that pick. Could be wrong. Here it's a snap dry green seeker. This card is super, just great value. So only one blue card in here. We're passing an amazing green card with Visual and Bailout, and actually Bristling Boar is not that bad. Also, Colossal Dreadmaw is not bad. So, I mean, we're passing a lot of good green cards, but I still want to take Green Seeker because it's by far the best card in the pack. So, Thump is something we might want to do in a Black Rat Sacrifice deck. Right now, though, I think it's just the Strangling Spores. It's an efficient removal spell. It's quite versatile. All these instant speed removal spells in general are better in a format like this because there's a lot of enchantments in play. So happy to pick that up. Reclamation Sage is not the worst. It's actually it's an amazing sideboard card, and on its own it's not the worst. But I mean, you can wreck, for example, a Patient Rebuild. It destroys Patient Rebuild. So this is almost like a better sideboard invoke the Divine or Naturalize. Shock is good, and it goes well with our first pick, even though we didn't see too much red up till now. Girapur Guide is mediocre. I think it's just a shock. I really like red green. I think it's a good archetype in this format. So now I think I'm going to take Skeleton because it's an incredibly versatile card. We might still end up being black-red sacrifice, and I think from my previous videos, you guys know how I feel about that, if anybody's watching. So happy to take Reassembling Skeleton. Of course, you know, I'd hate to lose Green Seeker and Reclamation Sage, but you know, even if we end up doing something like a black-green, there are some decks where you can use a Skeleton in a black-green deck. There's much less setups, but still, it's something we can do. So the best card in the pack is Dwindle. I don't really want to go into a third color. Not sure what the pick should be here. Maybe it's the Devils. I think Devils are fine. Oh, Active Treason, you say? All right, we're doing it. We're doing it. I hope we wheel the Thud because I sure like me a good red-black sacrifice deck. Yeah, Ogre is decent. Tormenting Voice is decent. Four creatures. I think maybe Motivator is something we want. Mind Rots. Well, Abnormal Endurance. Do we have any Enter the Battlefield abilities? Not really, not right now. Then maybe a Mind Rot is just better. Wield Epicure of Blood. This isn't really, well, I guess it's a Trumpet Blast deck in the sense that devils and Siegebreaker have trample, but I guess I'll just pick the corpse tree. I really don't want to play either card in this deck. Trumpet Blast is designed for white-red, or maybe green-red if you have a ton of trample. So, I mean, just doing a recap, we're not necessarily off green, but opening Isareth is just awesome. She's a very, very good card. Snap picking it here. I will take a print screen because I'm curious what's going to wheel. This is a loaded pack. I mean, Bloodletter, Reinforcements, Deckhand, Druid, all these are great cards. Luminous Bonds, it's a very strong pack in general. But we're going to take Isareth. Crucible Worlds. This pack is kind of a miss for us. There's no good black cards. There's no good red cards. There's a decent green card. Am I just supposed to take this Regal Bloodlord and maybe somehow not only find a way to splash, but also find a way to gain life? I don't think it's very good. So maybe just a Manolith in case we do get something we want to splash. I think it's either a Manolith or a Rock's Oracle, and Manolith is more likely to make my deck at this point. So I'm going to take a Thud now. But Archer is just better. Archer is a very strong card. I think I've got to take an Archer here. I am a bit jealous. It's hard for me to pass Johnny's Pride Maid. We'll just take another Devils. I want to try to stick to the plan. Cobber Waltz is a good pickup. It's a non-bow with Isareth, but it's still a good card. We do need more creatures. I'm not crazy about this creature count. I'm not sure what we're splashing with the Rupture Spire, so maybe we just take a Lava Axe. We have a Manolith anyway in case we want acceleration or ability to splash. As it is, it's not going into our deck because we don't really have any mana sinks or any high casting cost cards, but Skeleton Archer is welcome. One of my 3-0 decks had 3 of these and Blood Baron. Pyromancer is mediocre, but it hasn't entered the battlefield ability. So returning him with Isareth, returning him with Macabre Waltz, it's just like it's direct damage. So right now, Epicure of Blood is probably something we're not going to play. This is a deck for Rogue's Gloves. Don't think it is, but I don't think I'm playing Fire Elemental. Whatever, I'll take it. Maybe we get like a couple of black flyers. Like if we get 2 Skymarch Bloodletters, for example, it's something I could consider playing. So, I mean, like one of the things I really want in this deck is a Harpy. It makes active treason better. It makes skeleton better, but I don't think we're going to get one. We didn't see one. Not on this pack, so maybe pack 3. So do we money draft here? Is that what we're doing? I think we're money drafting because I don't really want any of this stuff. I'm not running anything. Let's see. Doom Dissenter is not a terrible card for this deck, and I think it's more relevant than Infernal Reckoning. Ghost form. I keep confusing this with the other card. Aether Tunnel is so much better than this. You know, it's funny. Like if we do splash something in this deck, it would be something like this. Second Tormenting Voice. I'm not playing. I'm definitely well. I'm more likely to play a second Tormenting Voice rather than a second Goblin Motivator. You know, I really didn't get the point of this card, but then I realized that one reason to play it is actually the Zombie and Skeleton Lord that gives +1/+1 to skeletons and zombies. So this pack is an interesting pick. Like the card with the most upside potentially for our deck is Active Treason. Fortunately, right now we don't have much. We don't have anything to support it. So with 11 creatures, I think what I'm supposed to do now is either take a second Strangling Spores or a Skeleton Archer. Spores are still better. I'm not sure if I'm gonna run, start my deck running 2 of them, but a Murder. Now I wish I'd taken Double Cast. Murder is an auto pick. You don't think you get a Murder, you just take it. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the thing with thud, because my 4 slot is so clogged up that I need some cheaper spells to make this deck really come together and synergize. Oh, that's an awesome card. I really don't see myself playing anything else. I'll just take a Pegasus Courser. I mean, I honestly think it's a splashable card. It's good enough. It's good enough to where if you don't have too many win cons, it's a very, very splashable card. So here it's a Gravedigger over Skymarch Bloodletter. Even though my 4 slot is just looking horrendous, it's a super strong card, and we just have to take it. So now I'm probably going to get enough playables, and I just want to... Land is going to make my mana base better. So a few final cards coming around. Explosive Apparatus isn't terrible in this type of deck. This is just super awkward. We need to do something about this. I mean, honestly, our deck is kind of weak. It feels like, I don't know. I guess it feels like we were in the wrong colors. Maybe I somehow tend to just gravitate towards black red. But again, because I think it's one of those decks that has the highest upside. Like when you get the components coming together, it's not only effective, it's just so much fun to play. Don't think that happened this time around. In fact, this deck is looking like a C- probably. It's got problems with the curve. It's got cards that are completely out of place, like Reassembling Skeleton. It's just out of place. We don't need it in this deck. We don't want to run it. We're probably better off running just like a Walking Corpse. It doesn't synergize with anything. Literally, the only thing it synergizes with is it's something you can kind of discard to Macabre Waltz at a low cost, but that is a stretch. The problem with thud, like usually, these cards are much better when they're instant speed because you could use them in response to removal. But at sorcery speed, they're super mediocre. I guess we're running Explosive Apparatus, and not sure what else. I'm not running Rogue's Gloves in this deck. There's no evasion. Last few cards coming around. So, I mean, this card wheeling tells me that maybe light red was open somehow, even though it didn't really feel like that. Okay, so we did get a second active treason, so that makes that a little bit better. Wow, okay. Well then. I guess rewarded, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Few final cards. It's not what we want. Whatever. I'm not playing any of those cards. So, all of a sudden I feel much better. I mean, getting active treason into a thud is kind of what this deck is trying to do. It's 24 cards. We need to make a cut. And what is our cut? I don't want to go lower than 13 creatures. Maybe I cut one Strangling Spores. Again, just that 4 slot is so clogged up, and our plan is to finish out the game with, like, you know, active treason into thud. Really, just getting in for 3 with and 4 with ogre, keeping the way clear with like murder, and then making it hard for opponent to block with Siegebreaker. So actually, you know, this went from like a C- deck to a B- deck very quickly. Could probably afford to run 16 lands in this deck also. With the Cinder Barons, my mana is a little bit better. But I do have a Tormenting Voice, so maybe I do run 17 lands. I don't mind 17 lands if I have a way to get value from them later. Okay. So let's save. You know, honestly, Tormenting Voice I found is really good in this format. I don't know if it's just some subjective feeling I have, but it's a reprint. It was an Innistrad. An Innistrad was amazing because it had Madness, which gives you a bonus for discarding cards. So I mean, I think it was even better there, but I think it's still it's really cheap card draw. I mean, usually you cast it. It's good. The thing is, like, it's good in red decks because red decks tend to be aggressive and they're not trying to run a lot of lands. So in low curve decks, you want cheap cards and you want to be able to keep the pressure up, and it lets you do that quite effectively. Usually, you don't need more than like 5 or 6 lands in those decks. I'll keep it. Okay, it's not a good draw right now. I'm looking to draw some swamps. That would be really cool if we can get that going. So we're up against black-white life gain. To be honest, not an archetype that we want to be up against because the life gain can really throw our plan off. So, all right, well, we're both not doing much. And still no plays on turn 4. Land? Okay. So I need to discard something. I'm going to discard a creature. Probably just a walking corpse. I can bring it back with Macabre Waltz later. What is going on? Both of us are just blanking. I guess that's good news. Swamp? Thank you. So, Havoc Devils for sure. No reason to bring out Skeleton Archer. Dealing 1 to a creature is much better than dealing 1 to an opponent. Okay, so Lonely Angel. If I had one more land, I could shock and Skeleton Archer. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to trade now. I don't mind trading because, having my graveyard clogged up makes Macabre Waltz better, but he didn't trade anyway, so I guess that's good. I mean, I have two options. I can go Skeleton Archer now, or I can go Child of Night, keeping up Shock, but I think it's better to just go Archer. Okay. Again, it makes Izzet better, it makes Macabre Waltz better. We don't mind our creatures dying in this type of deck. So let's attack first. So maybe we just play Izzet now, keeping up Shock. I think that's the best because then next turn we can bring back Havoc Devils if my opponent doesn't have a way of dealing with Izzet. And even if it does, we're going to Macabre Waltz if we get a chance. Also, Thud would be a really fun draw next turn. No, whatever. We can Thud Izzet later, so no big deal. No big deal. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, let's just do it now. Let's bring back Devils and Archer. Discard a Mountain. Play Child of Night, and then keep up Shock. So opponent's splashing Dryad Greenseeker. Is that what we're seeing? Or maybe no, maybe black is the splash. Interesting. Not sure, not clear. I'd love to draw a Thud here. That would be so much fun. Fortunately, we did not get a Thud. So I can attack and then Archer, whatever blocks Child of Night. He knows I have it, so maybe he won't block, but you probably don't want to let a 2/1 lifelinker get in every turn. I imagine you wouldn't. Question is, what is he going to sacrifice? Okay, so the Courser. I want to keep a land for Tormenting Voice. Honestly, I might just murder that Greenseeker. I don't want my opponent to draw a million cards off that. Okay, well now we need to murder that, of course. Why are you playing creatures before attacking? Usually you don't want to do that. You want to attack first. It's gonna make your opponent's decisions better. Some people call it no respect for the game. I don't take it that far. I just think it's just not a smart strategy. So let's murder Wolves. And let's get in with Archer. I mean, it feels like I'm kind of losing the race, but to be honest, between an act of treason and a shock, my opponent's at risk, or he may have to chump next turn. If he plays a big creature right now and he keeps attacking with Angel, then, like, let's say he plays a 7/7 trample, right? Oakheart twins or whatever. Yeah, so it looks like he's actually splashing black. Okay. I hope he plays like a big, dumb, stupid creature right now. Well, we can shock that. Is he playing an enchantment? No. I want to shock right now in case the last card in his hand is an enchantment. I don't want him drawing a card. No tormenting voice. All right, well, I guess he's going to trade Daggerback for Archer. He does not. Okay. So, I mean, opponent can potentially deal 6 damage if he attacks with everything. So maybe he's playing to an out or some pump spell. He might have a pump spell already. I mean, if he's got a pump spell, then we're in trouble. Let's say he's got, yeah, I mean, if he's got +4/+4, I'm just dead. Uh-huh. Well, I'm certainly not dead here, but I definitely need to block. That makes my decision easy. So thud would be like really good in this situation. If I don't get a thud, I'm dead. All right. Let's go to game 2. We did not get a thud. That's unfortunate because we ripped through half of our deck. We should have found at least one. We have 2 of them, so kind of underwhelming, I guess. So what's our plan? I don't think reassembling skeleton is good. I don't think any of this is good. Let's just run it back. Oh, it felt like our deck was performing well, but if you go back-to-back Angel of Dawns, it's kind of hard to lose. Keep. So definitely running out Ogre first. Izarath is definitely not a card you play first as your first creature. In fact, you're kind of incentivized her to play as late as possible, so that she is able to, so that it's more likely that she's going to bring back a valuable creature. Yeah, that bookcase does not line up well at all against R4-2. Let's get in there. So next turn we can go Izarath and Child of Night, and that's a pretty cool curve out because hopefully, I mean, some of our creatures are going to trade and will have value that we can bring back. That'll prevent us from, potentially flooding out. All right, that's scary. That's scary. We have murder for that, so I guess I'm not too worried. You might just keep him back on the defensive. Yeah, that makes sense. Murder? Thud. Wow. Active treason would be very spicy. Let's just play all our stuff and say pass. I mean, if I really want to, I can also thud Isareth into Enchanter because she has Death Touch. Wait, would that work? Or no, thud deals the damage, not Isareth. So actually, that would work. That would just deal 3 and it would do nothing. It's important to read the cards. Thud deals damage, so thud is the source. And thud is not a spell that has Death Touch. In fact, from what I know, I don't think there are any spells that have Death Touch. Of course, I skipped magic from about 99 through 2015, 2014. Of course, I missed a lot, but from what I remember, ain't no such thing. God. Is asking for an act of, is that too much, really? Is it too much to ask for one act of treason? Or even a tormenting voice? The other thing I could do is I could just, if I need to kill something, I could thud like ogre or devils, and then I could just immediately bring the creature back with his breath. So if I need to do that, then I kind of get an immediate discount. All right, so let's go tormenting voice, discarding Cinder Barons. So we did not get an active treason, but we did get another Havoc Devils. I think I'm going to play out Devils to set up for like a huge turn for when we do draw our removal spell. And either way, I think we're better off just kind of hanging back because it doesn't look like our opponent's doing anything either. Maybe we wait until he gets greedy and starts paying 3 to get in with something like a Bristling Boar using the bookcase. Oh yeah, but we forgot that he's got those in his deck. It's okay. We're incentivized to trade. We're going to get cards back. Let's see how he attacks. We can easily block the Boar. Kind of tricky to block the Giant. Actually, no, I could double block the Giant Spider also. Do your worst. I can double block him with like Ogre and Devils, and then I can throw the other Devils in front of the Bristling Boar. So doesn't really have good attacks here. Yeah. Archer, can I kill anything with Archer? I don't think so. Again, I think we're just waiting. We're just hanging out. I mean, I'd rather keep up a Strangling Spores in case he tries to cast another enchantment. This thing draws you whenever you cast it, not when you resolve it. Yeah, when you cast an enchantment spell. So. Okay. Active treason. Ugh. All right, I'm not attacking. There's no reason. We can have a massive turn if we get an active treason. Just We would steal the enchanter, we would attack with the enchanter, and then afterwards we would toss it at whatever survives after blocks. And we would attack with everything but Child of Night. And unfortunately here we just gotta be patient. And we would probably toss Enchanter at the Gargoyle, because it's the biggest threat on the board right now. Sweet. Okay. So steal Enchanter. Attack with, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to attack with everything. He really does not have good blocks. And if he eats Child of Night, then again, it makes his. I'd rather get more damage in, because if he takes enough damage, I can always thud Enchanter in his face. That's really the reason to attack with Child of Night here, to lure him into taking a ton of damage. I mean, of course, as fun as it is to toss creatures at other creatures, at the end of the day, we just want to win, right? Yeah. Choose any target. 1 mana. Game 3. And I'm almost tempted to play like another Tormenting Voice. Because we didn't, I mean, in that matchup, we didn't have anything in our graveyard for Macabre Waltz, for Gravedigger, or for Izrath. You know, I want to play 2 Tormenting Voices, and I'm going to take out a Swamp, I think, right? No, I guess take out a Mountain. Not sure. Yeah, let's go to 16 lands and 2 Tormenting Voices. Again, the key to winning is just to make sure I can get my thud active treason combo. And anything that helps me dig to that is good. Well, I have access to murder worst case scenario, so I guess I'll keep this. Oh, dogs. Man, if we can find a mountain, then I don't see us losing. If we can find a mountain. Yeah, it feels pretty good when you have thud and active treason in your hand at the same time. Now I don't care. Now I could care less about using, using murder on anything, just to make sure that I can live long enough to get the combo going. Okay. Ah, come on, deck. Come on. You're better than this. All right. So now we got to murder the boar. Can't afford to take 4 turn. Come on. I want to see red. Give me some love. Oh, God. I can't believe we're going to lose this game right now. This is ridiculous. I mean, he's down with 4 cards. Yeah, no, we're not going to win. If we can't get a mountain now, I don't think we're going to win. It's just, this game's going to spiral out of control. All right, here we go. Here we go. Now I can trade with this guy for something. Good. I'm going to need a second mountain to do my thing. But I should be able to find it, because I have Tormenting Voice now. Oh, he wants to race? That's not a good idea. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh my god. That's not what I wanted to do. That was I meant to click. Oh god. It was unfortunate. Hopefully we're not going to get punished too bad. Doom the Center's not really doing much on this board. And actually, Child of Night might really work out for us. Because we can afford to take one more hit. We could play Child of Night. Then if we can find our mountain this turn or next turn, we can set up a turn where we can also get some lifelink. Okay, I really don't mind that. Yep. So let's attack. Oh no, he's just gonna block. No point in attacking. So I guess we play Child of Night and then keep up Spores. Yeah, let's do that. And we'll use Strangling Spores on Sentinel. Really hoping he tries to poke Oakenform on something. Okay. He would draw a card, but he would basically tap out for nothing. So, and he would waste a turn. Oh, did you sideboard in a combat trick? All right, nice work. You did it. But guess what? I'm still drawing a mountain right now. Right this minute. And I'm doing the thing. With the thing. Another act of treason. I'm gonna just steal the enchanter and attack because I want to make sure my creature lives and I can get 4 points of life. Gaining life here just buys me enough time to find removal and guarantee that I can I can 2-for-1 my opponent. Not exactly. Well, no, it's still a 2-for-1. It's like a 2-for-2, but you get the attack in between. So it also does some damage, which is not irrelevant. Because again, if he plays something big enough and I active treason it, then I can always thud for direct damage. Okay. So I think I am going to do it now. Question is, do I have enough to activate flying on Gargoyle? I don't think so. 7. Oh no, I do. 3, 3, right? 5, 7. 3, 3, and 1. Okay. Give it flying. Again, depending on well, no, he's not. I can't kill him. I can't kill him. But I will kill enchanters. So thud, choose enchanter. 1, sacrifice a creature. Okay. So it's like it's a 2-for-2, but it's you get rid of the best 2 cards on your opponent's board. So it's a pretty powerful effect when you look at it that way. Yeah, I mean, if I was my opponent, I'd probably sideboard out Suspicious Bookcase. I'm just saying. So can I finish off my opponent with Shock? I think I can. If I attack with all three, he probably blocks Druid on Child, Bookcase on Archer, and I just deal 2 directly, so I think I can win now. Why not? Well, let's see what he does first. I'm not going to slow roll. All right, and a little shameless self-promotion. Okay, we won the die roll. By the way, this is definitely a play first deck. It's aggro. We want to just get in there. It's a great opening hand. I wouldn't mind finding a Tormenting Voice to draw some cards and filter some lands. So this is definitely a keep. I guess we should have played a Shock first, Mountain for the Shock, but it's okay. And look at that, a Tormenting Voice. And you guys know what it's going to find us? It's going to find us a thud. I am going to Tormenting Voice now. I have 17 lands. I'm very likely to draw more lands, and I just need 2 sources of red mana. I don't need more. And yeah, we got, well, it's not ideal. Cinder Barons is not, it's kind of bad next turn if we can't get one of our 4 drops down, but it's okay. Okay. Probably would have done that before taking damage, I think. So replay Child of Night, and I'm actually going to wait to shock Brute to see if maybe he'll try to put Aether Tunnel or some enchantment on Brute. There aren't too many red enchantments, which is kind of weird because usually red is one of those enchantment heavy colors. Think like Menacing Fury, but in this format it's red and white that serve those, green and white that are doing those honors. So let's shock. I guess I could have blocked first with Child of Night to see if it'll. Yeah, that was a misplay. Actually, in those situations, you should throw your creature in front of Brute, see if he tries to do to play a combat trick like Sure Strike, and then you try to fire off Shock. So that was actually a mistake, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Let's get in there. And with Active Treason, I'm just going to start running out the 3/3. I'm not going to try to hope to nail some random X1. Okay. Good to know he has Bone to Ash. Okay. So let's attack with Child of Night and play Archer. Oh, sorry. Play. Probably want to just play Gravedigger. Yeah, it's better to play Gravedigger because. Yes. Yeah, I was saying, our opponent's at 14 life. We want to be consistently doing average damage every turn, which we can be with Strangling Spores and with Active Treason. So, and this is actually good because my opponent might go for like a a double block on Gravedigger. Okay. Guess I'll attack with everything. Again, I have a lot of cards that return creatures from my graveyard, so I don't even care trading a Child of Night for a Thopter. Oh wait, no, I should have. Oh, man, I should have played Skeleton Archer first. That was a mistake. I should have killed the Thopter with the Archer. In fact, I could have killed Pyromancer. Whatever. Yeah, that was definitely like a dumb mistake there. That's okay. We're just gonna get Thump and do stupid stuff again. Somehow I doubt he doesn't have anything in his hand. I don't believe you, sir. Let's go Walking Corpse. Try to lure a counterspell if he has another one. Pyromancer. This sets up a stronger turn with Active Treason because it puts 4 damage on the board. Okay, yeah, this is good. I don't need to Macabre Waltz this turn. Let's just attack. Well, I mean, it looks like we're easily going to win this one. Between Strangling Spores and an Active Treason and 7 power on board, it's going to be very hard right now to come back. By the way, Macabre Waltz and Gravedigger is also a combo, right? Right. Aether Tunnel on Pioneer, just as a desperate measure. So let's see. So if I Active Treason, he doesn't have Counterspell up. So let's see what happens. So I Active Treason Pioneer. I attack for 3, 6, 8, 10. Is that lethal? I think that's lethal. Of course, you could have the card that gives it creatures -2, -0. We might run into it here. Let's see. And some more promotion. So before we go to sideboard, let's just take a look. I mean, our opponent's playing like 2 Pioneers, an X1, so our Archer's are actually really good against them. Shock deals with Brute. Brute's also a great card to steal with Active Treason because it has Menace. So I don't think we need to change much. I don't think we want to second Spores. Mind Rot might be good because he has Sift. Maybe we sideboard in Mind Rot. Like a Lava Axe? Sure how well Goblin Motivator is against my opponent. We haven't drawn this card yet once. I think this is okay. Let's see what we can do. So this is a very good opening hand. We're definitely going to keep. And maybe even we're going to Tormenting Voice on turn 2. I used to really be down on cards like this, but after you play for a while, you realize that it's arguably even better than Divination, to be honest. Again, specifically because it goes into red decks that are very dependent on just, hitting their lands and smashing in. By the way, we do have active treason and thud. Okay, and let's active treason now, or tormenting voice now, rather. Discarding a mountain because we need double black for murder. Okay. So we got some lands, but we basically like fast forwarded 2 bad draws there. Okay. So Archer is going to do a lot of work when we can dig to them. Man, we're just getting beat up by these. I might have to active treason thud just to get the 2 pyromancers off the board next turn. Because, yeah, 10 life is a precarious place to be. I definitely don't want to go to 6. Okay, yeah. So let's active treason this guy. 1, 2, 3. Let's attack for 2. By the way, for newer players, it's really easy to misclick with a card like Thud. Do not first click on a creature you're going to sack. Click on the target that you want to deal the damage to. Then pay the casting cost. Then you sacrifice the creature. All the time, I see people misclicking and first clicking on the creature they're intending to sack. And then when they cast it, it basically fizzles because it has no legal targets. So I really don't mind if he equips Deckhand and attacks because I can murder next turn. Oh, he's not even doing it. Is he keeping up Bone to Ash? No, he's going to play something. Drawing a card. That's strong. Okay, that's strong. So Archer. It's got to be targeted by a spell, not an ability. So if I steal that thing and deal 9 right now, am I just dead on the crackback? I think I am. So I'm going to have to murder something. So does that mean I offer the trade here with Siegebreaker? I guess I kind of have to. I mean, alternatively, like, I can murder Scholar and get in for 6, get my opponent down to 12. Then maybe somehow try to deal 12 with active treason, but that seems like a stretch. I think my better play is to be patient, offer the trade for Siegebreaker, but I don't even think he's going to block. I'm going to attack. He's not going to trade. And what that does is he's going to equip one of his 2 creatures. Whichever one he equips, that's the one I'm just going to murder this turn. Most likely that's what's going to happen. And that could set up a situation theoretically where I can deal 6 in 1 turn, even though that's unlikely. So he didn't equip. So I guess I need to murder the higher power creature. Because I can always get, if I really need to kill this thing, I could just try to cast Act of Treason on it, and then my opponent will be forced to sacrifice. And this way I take the least amount of damage. So most likely he's got Bone to Ash up. I don't believe that he has anything other than Bone to Ash. So what I'll do is, pre-combat, I'm going to play Goblin Motivator, see if I can lure that counterspell out of his hand. Most likely he'll let it resolve. So I'm debating between casting after Act of Treason pre-combat to just get this thing off the board. I'm not casting Archer this turn. So do I want to risk taking damage? We know he has a shock in his deck. I think we saw a shock. Yeah, so for that reason, I'm going to Act of Treason this now just to get it off the board. I'm not going to play a creature into a counterspell. And I'm just going to get him for 6 here, unless maybe the opponent has bounce. And actually, this puts my opponent in a very awkward spot because Siegebreaker's ability makes it so that the creatures can't block. So between, having the option of giving haste to Skeleton Archer, Lightning Strike. No, that's bad. Okay, that's fine. It's not terrible. Actually, again, that's good because that's a Lightning Strike I did not take to the face after being attacked for 4 with an unblockable creature. And you draw another card. Gosh darn you. Just drawing all the cards. Pyromancer. So I have a couple of, I could attack with the Motivator, see if my opponent will block, and then maybe pick off that creature with Skeleton Archer. I can also, because I have enough mana to play both, I think that's the play. What's the alternative that I play Pyromancer, give it haste attack, and then play an Archer to maybe block with? I think this is the better play. No blocks, okay. So Mind Rot is a death card. If we draw it. Okay, there's the shock. That's good. Again, that's 5 direct damage. I could be at 1 right now. So if he attacks, I absolutely have to trade, but he does not attack. Good, we got him on the defensive. So I'm pretty sure he still has Bone to Ash, but I'd rather, have a Child of Night get countered than something else. Yeah, draw your card, do your thing, do your thing. So I can't afford to attack here. Or can I? No, I don't think we attack. All right, I got 3 turns to come up with something. And something else. And totally lost. Yeah, I gotta chump, otherwise I'm dead next turn. That's a no-brainer there. So what needs to happen? I need to draw like spores. Maybe I should play a second copy of spores instead of mind rot. I think that would be better. Yeah, I got 1 turn to find an answer, and that's it. That is an answer. I'm gonna do it now so that on his turn he can't play an instant spell in response if he draws one. So he either has an instant spell in his hand that he can cast now or not. And my opponent says something. Joke. Usually in these cases, I feel like just saying I'm sorry you had a bad experience. You can actually still totally win. I mean, we're just top decking. So, of course, with me getting back Siegebreaker Giant, and I guess he issue a Pyromancer because then he's just dead in 1 turn. Oh no, but I'm gonna have to discard a card, so it doesn't matter what second card I take. I'm gonna have to discard one of these. So I have 4, 5, 6, 7. That's enough. All right. Only spells that say that. Well, it's not entirely true. I mean, you know, active treason is a good card, and yeah, again, I'm dead. So, what's he complaining about? All right, I'm 6 minutes behind. I'm just going to concede and let's go to game 3. Honestly, like if I'm my opponent, I should see that his deck does not really match up well against my deck. So, second Strangling Spores, and honestly, barring Mana Screw, I really don't see us losing. Only other change I would consider is take out like maybe the Motivator for like what's the card I'm thinking of? For like a Lava Axe. The Motivator's good. I mean, again, if we're doing things like thud and active treason, the Motivator's good. Well, this is actually one card we can consider because it deals with the flyers, and it actually deals with the flyers more efficiently than Strangling Spores. So that's a reason to take out Motivator and put in an Explosive Apparatus. I think the rest is okay. Okay, our opponent just conceded on turn 3 because he missed his land drop. Actually, turn 4, he missed 2 land drops and he just conceded. So Before we go to the finals, just taking a look at this deck. Is there anything I want to change? You know, maybe one thing that I have to confess is that by having only 13 creatures, we're not really getting value off having a graveyard interaction. And I almost feel like I want to play a second Tormenting Voice for some reason, just because it's so freaking good. I still think this is the best configuration, though. When in doubt, I mean, you know, if you made the finals, then don't try to fix it if it ain't broken. And I think our deck is very good. Like the only creatures that we can consider is something like Epicure of Blood or Catalyst Elemental. And neither of those really synergize with what we're trying to do. Play first. Excellent keep. And let's hope our opponent plays some X1s that we can snipe. Ooh, blue-green. Oh, that's a super strong card. Yeah, cannot attack into that. I can attack into it next turn, potentially, if my opponent's not doing anything else. Well, I'm going to do it. I mean, if my opponent has a pump spell or something, then it could be pretty bad. But I'll try to go for it. Probably no blocks. No blocks. Okay. Okay. Same plan. This thing needs 6 mana before it starts getting huge. Divinate away. Yeah, I was going to say, I do hope he attacks because we want to fill our graveyard up. It's going to give us a lot more value. And it buys us time for when we can go active treason thud. Tends to be quite strong. It's like Macabre Waltz would be a good draw. Active treason, of course, would be a sick draw. Strange. So he can attack, but he's not attacking. So again, telegraphing that he might have Bone to Ash if he's doing that in this spot. So because of how important Ezreth is to me, I am actually not going to do anything. I mean, he also might be trying to lure me into attack thinking I don't know about this card's ability. But given the huge value I can get off Ezreth, I'd rather just play her when my opponent doesn't have Bone to Ash mana up. Given that he already played Essence Scatter, I mean, if your opponent's playing one counterspell, it's a higher chance that he's playing more than one counterspell. I mean, there's just people that like to play him. Yeah, again, the more creatures we have in the graveyard, the better. Okay. So given that I can bring back Skeleton Archer with Izrath, it means that I can attack with everything except no, because sleep. Okay, that's not terrible. It's not going to kill me. Because Child of Night gave me a bunch of life. Okay, that's actually not bad. So now I have something to block Thorn Lieutenant with. It doesn't have Trample, right? God, if it had Trample, I think it would be too good. If it had anything else, it would be just ridiculous. If it had Vigilance, if it had Trample, it would just be busted. Uh, I'm just thinking, do I want Archer or Devils? I think I just want Devils. I mean, my opponent's taking quite a bit of damage, so 6, 8. So next turn, if he gets greedy with attacks, he's going to be within thud range. Is there any reason to sandbag more lands? Maybe. I don't know. Gotta say, deck is working really well. So he's got a counterspell up. So if he has a counterspell up, that means I'd rather he counterspell Lava Axe than something else. Yeah. See, that's good, because if I play Thud, then it's 2 for 1 because I have to sack a creature as part of the casting cost. But now next turn I can just guaranteed win with a Thud unless he has another counterspell. And I have an extra creature on board. Let's see. So we're playing blue-green, counterspells, and card draw. Counterspells can really blow me out. I mean, not so much the Essence Kit, but this counterspell. I mean, if I'm thudding something, that could be not good. I mean, especially if I have to thud my own creature for some reason. It's also splashing red. We don't know what his red splash is, but it's probably like just removal. Somehow I don't think a Goblin Motivator is good against him. I think I just want a second Tormenting Voice. Super awkward, but it's a keep. Hopefully we'll find some early plays. Actually, okay, still nothing. Yeah, merge is not something you typically want to play on turn 3. Yeah, like that's not good enough to murder. Yeah, like I'm getting flooded, but actually it's okay because we're playing 2 copies of Tormenting Voice, so I don't mind getting flooded. Yeah, also like Macabre Waltz makes use of extra lands. All right, so next turn we Macabre Waltz. Oh, that's nasty. Oh. I got a relatively good long-term plan, so that's one reason to avoid taking damage if at all possible in that spot. So I'm gonna go Devils and keep up murder. Another counterspell. Oh yeah, well yeah, he just drew it. Duh. Sure. It's easy to forget that your opponent just drew it. I am gonna kill this guy because he is just a huge blocker against us. I mean, he blocks our Devils. It's definitely a card we want to get off the board, for sure. Tormenting Voice would be nice here. We got a bunch of mana, but we don't have any spells. Yeah, like if he's drawing cards, then we also need to draw cards. Otherwise, we're going to fall behind very fast. So I'm going to shock now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is like one way where we can stabilize, and this is our alternative, I guess you could say, to drawing cards. We are going to take 4 damage, which sucks, but we'll get one of our 4/3s back. So drawing Ezra is almost like drawing 2 cards, but of course she needs to survive. Yeah, definitely not blocking. Block a worm. Ooh. So I can double block a worm with like Devils and Ogre. So I'm gonna attack with her. And actually, I mean, opponent can't even block profitably here. He has to chump with Salad. Well, he can only block with that block a worm actually. And she has Death Touch, so that means I'm gonna bring back another creature next turn. Of course, if he has ways to interact with the board, it could be bad. But of course, I can just throw a card in front of it to absorb some damage, or he just has Sleep. Never mind. All right, on to game 3. That was pretty nasty, pretty nasty. So counterspell, Spelaka Worm, and Sleep. How do we deal with that? Mind Rot. Yeah, Mind Rot tends to be better on cards that have card draw, and against decks that have card draw, because the thing about a card like Mind Rot, it has a very powerful effect by getting rid of like maybe a removal spell and another powerful spell from your opponent's hand is the last 2 cards. But there's a small window to play a card like Mind Rot. But if your opponent's drawing cards, then the window to play a card like Mind Rot, it increases in the probability of you getting something powerful, like a Balaka Worm, like a removal spell. You could even get a counterspell out of your opponent's hand. So, yes, I want to play first. Cannot ask for a better opening hand than this. So it's definitely a keep. So let's see, Essence Scatter, potentially. Nope. Okay. Okay. I'm attacking. Again, I want creatures in my graveyard. Certainly. Ezereth. Okay. Devils. If we draw a land next turn, we can double spell with Ogre and Corpse. Should have played Corpse first. That's okay. Now we can toss any lands to Tormenting Voice. And we have a plan. I wish I could cast Murder now. Unfortunately, I cannot. And the risk is that it runs into a counterspell. Frilled Sea Serpent, I mean, it could become a problem. And I think it's a bigger problem than Thorn Lieutenant. Okay, I see what you're doing. Police Pump it. No, if this is a cancel, I think we're going to lose. So now we want Macabre Waltz. That's like, I think, one of the best draws in our deck. Because otherwise we're just taking 6 damage a turn and we're on a 3-turn clock. Well, of course I can chump with Corpse for a turn, but yeah, this is kind of bad. All right. Wow, he didn't pump. Oh, because you have a Colossal Dreadnought. Well, this maybe lets me live for a turn. Can absorb some damage, gain some life. And then maybe we can go Active Treason into Thud. So no, this is what we're going to do. We're going to Tormenting Voice into Thud and Active Treason. It's just going to happen. No doubt in my mind. No. Okay. Well, hope you guys enjoyed it. It's 2-1. Opponent's deck is really good. And see you guys next one.